Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in. This is Real Talk with Coach Sherri. I'm actually almost at the end of my walk, but I did want to come in and say hello. And if you're doing a quick workout, this would be a good video for you to do it with. So walk with me. I saw on the sidewalk behind me as I passed that some kids had put chalk on the sidewalk, and it was like exercise words of encouragement. I'm actually going to use that as my thumbnail picture. But yeah, I thought it was really, really cool. I'm gonna go up here so that we can have a little view. Okay. Sorry for the heavy breathing, but I walked up a lot of hills today. It's definitely good to get out and walk or do some type of exercise because I don't know about you, but I'm finding that I'm much more sedentary working from home. At least when I'm at work in my office, I get up, I make myself get up. I walk around, I might go to the copier room, to the mail room. I might go to say hello to someone. I may go talk to one of my team members. Just a lot of up and down. And I'm usually in and out a lot, especially when I'm evaluating the interns or the apprentices. So I do a lot of movement. But at home, I'm finding that I'm sitting down at the computer a lot longer for the majority of the day actually. I may only get up to get some water, maybe food, go to the bathroom, but that's about it. It's not like people are coming to the house, not like I have to entertain anyone. So that's the downside, I would say, about working from home. However, it is making the workouts more purposeful, which is a great thing. Oh, here's another view too. Yeah, so I've decided to really focus on a new virtual culture. I'm going to start developing it with our current interns and apprentices by having conference calls at least once a week with them. I check on them individually, but I think having a group conference call is going to be important because they are a huge support system for each other, and they all are working in different positions, and they need to know that they are all in this together. So any concerns that they have, any stressors that they may have, I want them to know that it's going to be a safe place for them to release it. Hopefully I'll be able to provide them with some solutions or resources, and just let them know they're not in this alone. I know many of them are already hired on full time, but they still would have concerns, with the changing of their schedules, their work schedules. People who live in their communities are not used to a person being considered full time, working every other week, and, just having a really odd shift. So I want to have them reassured that this is a real deal and we're all in this together, and really want to be a support to them. At this time, I encourage you all to see who you can be a support system for. I know my line sisters and I are going to have a conference call tonight. Even though we have a text group, I guess, it's really important to be able to hear a person's voice. And because we are of a certain age, many of us are empty nesters. As you know, I'll be an empty nester next year. But the ones that are empty nesters are alone in some instances. And so this would be a good way for them to stay connected and be connected with those who love them. Hopefully we'll be able to laugh, joke around, possibly even cry on our call tonight. It's going to be our first conference call since This virus has taken over the world. My goodness, you guys, it has taken over the world. Life as we know it. I already ordered our face masks for my family just in case it becomes mandatory to wear them outdoors. I know they're kind of on the fence about that, whether or not they're going to mandate everyone to wear face masks outdoors. And I was speaking with someone about that, and she said, well, I thought they said you only need to wear a face mask if you were infected. And I said, that's the point. No one knows if they're infected or not. So, having people wear face masks as a precautionary may be a thing, just to be certain. Because apparently it affects everyone in different ways. Some people, as you can see, are on respirators, some people or ventilators, some people are just, really sick, almost, with worse than flu-like symptoms. So, you just don't know who's the carrier, what level of endurance they have with it. So we don't want to take any chances. But when I went on Amazon to order the face masks, it's going to take 2 weeks, at least 2 to 3 weeks to come. And I knew it. It's so crazy because 2 months ago, when all this had started in China, I had a feeling that this would happen. And I remember saying it to some friends almost in a jokingly way. Yeah, I think I want to order a box of masks, one for each of my family members, so 5 boxes. And everyone was like, what? That's ridiculous. That's taking it to another level. It's not going to get that bad here. And now a month and a half, 2 months later, here we are. So I don't know. Always follow your gut instinct. Whenever you feel like you should do something, definitely do it. Don't let anyone talk you out of it, no matter how crazy it may sound. And I will have some crazy thoughts sometimes. And unfortunately, a lot of times, those thoughts will come to pass. So I have to always remember that for myself, to, take heed and listen to my own voice. I'm going to sit down here. That's another thing I like. That this neighborhood has a lot of seating areas, benches and things to catch your breath. I remember not too long ago when I would walk up a hill, I would have such a burning sensation in my chest. Felt like my heart was about to explode. And I realized that I have a slightly elevated blood pressure. And so once I started taking the medicine for it, it has dramatically decreased. I don't have that pressure in my chest anymore. Yeah, I might be a little short out of breath because those hills are no joke. I would be like that anyway. So, yeah, definitely get your health checked. When you have an issue and it doesn't feel natural, like burning in your chest or eating ice. Remember my video about eating ice? If you're cold all the time, if you sweat a lot and you're not in menopause, just a lot of different things. Be aware of your body and what's going on. So, today has been productive. This week has been productive. I'm finding myself being more tired now from working from home. I feel like I'm getting a lot more accomplished, but I feel like I'm putting in a lot more work as well. And I guess that's a good thing. I don't know. But I feel like I have a pretty good work schedule working from home. I have my day mapped out pretty good. I'm able to put a stop to it. I don't go back in the evening and revisit my work. I save it for the next day. But I am getting a lot done. I was on a great webinar today about women in construction and what jobs are available now that we are in the coronavirus atmosphere. And of course, they said Amazon is hiring. I know here in Charlotte, they hired 1,500 new people. All of the supermarkets are hiring, especially Publix. Lowe's is hiring. So there's a lot of companies that are hiring, and for the low to mid level skilled level positions, they're also offering full benefits in many cases, which is really, really good. They're also paying top dollar. If you have your CDL, there's a lot of companies, manufacturing companies, that are looking for drivers so that they can drive the goods all across the country. Manufacturing plants are starting to open. Honeywell is coming here, if they're not here already, in Charlotte. Krispy Kreme may be opening up a headquarters here in Charlotte. Lowe's is building headquarters here in Charlotte. So it's a lot of growth, because my concern was with everything, freezing up, and with the mandated stay in the home, if you're not essential, how is that with businesses coming here? And I was told that Charlotte ranked number 9 out of 10 major cities with construction, in terms of how quick permits are awarded to residential and commercial builders, which is great. And that a lot of contracts have been approved and green lighted, and money has been set aside. So those companies are going to be good to move forward with their construction. Apparently banks are still doing relatively well. And I've heard that a lot of people are moving some of their retirement funds from the regular funding sources, or from the regular portals like 401ks, to savings accounts. And even though savings accounts only earn a small interest, 1 to 3% in many cases, they rather have it earn a little bit of interest than to, take a hard hit and they lose 15, 20, 30%. So some people really save their retirement funds by doing that. But if everyone did that, that would really destroy retirement funds. That would not be good. So I'm glad that's not all the way out there for people to know. They were talking about, especially if you're interested in the construction field, how having an OSHA 10 certification is becoming mandatory in many places, because safety first is basically the theme of work sites. So if you can have your OSHA 10 certification and you walk to a job site or whatever to be hired, and you can prove that you are certified, you basically are writing your own ticket. And you can get your OSHA 10 certification online, and I believe the least amount is $25. So I encourage you to look into that. Getting your contractor's license is another thing that would be good moving forward, as we continue to build and support our country as we get through this. They were saying that construction contractor license is a really good license to have, and I think that costs about $200 or so. I'm trying to think of what else they were saying, but yeah, it was a webinar that was filled with nuggets, and I appreciated it, because I've been going on webinars here and there all for the past 2 weeks, and this webinar to me gave me more nuggets than any of them put together. When I sit down to be informed about something, I really try to see how I can implement it into my life. Like, what are some of the action steps I can take? What's some of the information I can share? And if I don't get that, to me, the webinar is not a success. And so I really appreciated this webinar, because they gave links and websites and information and ideas and hope for the future. It wasn't about how to deal with stress. It was about, this is where we're at, this is what we have, and how can we move forward with that. And, that was, to me, was a lot more uplifting than just, oh, everyone's stressed out. How can we eliminate their stress? How can people do this with their kids? How can they do that with their jobs? How can they do this with themselves? It wasn't like that. So, and I liked how they also took your questions and were able to fully answer the questions without you wondering, did they even see my question? They did, and they recognized who asked the questions. So you didn't feel, like you weren't being heard, that you really weren't part of it. It actually felt like I was in a room with the people that were on that call. And the webinar was with She Built This City and Women at Work. So it was about women in construction, even though it relates to anyone in construction, but it's a woman-led initiative, and so that's how we do it. That's the target audience. But at any rate, you guys, I really enjoyed speaking with you today. I didn't think I was. I was actually on the phone when I was walking earlier and had a really good conversation, just tanking through some things and, just seeing how things are going to unfold. I'm really excited. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you got a nugget from this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. If there's anyone that you know that you feel would need to also hear this message, please be sure to share. And if you're not already part of my team, I would love to have you. So be sure to subscribe, ring the bell for notification of when my next video will be posted. And until we speak again, please remember to stay safe. And this has been Real Talk with Coach Sherri.